Yo, what's up? Welcome to the Rick Thorne Show. My name's Rick Thorne. Duh. On this episode, I got Mike Plasha. He is Hoodrich Bikelife, living that bike life straight out of Philly. I'm going to call him right now. He's doing big things. Let's do this. Recording in progress. What's up, dude? What are you doing?
Oh man, what's going on? I'm just sitting over here. I just got over to Ride Out Supplies, come over here, get a little quiet spot to do this, video with you. And
Yeah, man.
I got
What's looks like you guys drink what's all that stuff in the background? You guys just drink a bunch of beers or what?
I don't drink. I'm not sure if he does. I know they got wine. I don't drink.
I'm just playing around, man. I'm just messing with
But
you, dude. I'm just
yeah,
playing around. Yeah, dude, thanks for doing this. This is my first video one, so I'm pretty stoked about it to be able to do both. I
yeah,
set up this is my DIY setup, you know what I mean, of all this stuff in the background, stuff that
yeah,
you've
that's
done and
dope.
stuff. You know what I mean?
Lot of
Uh,
old stuff there. That's dope. A lot of history on that wall behind you.
well, man, you're making history too, dude. You guys are doing big things. Talk to me about this whole movement with, the bikes that you guys ride compared to the 20-inch bikes. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a whole nother different, it's kind of the
Yeah,
same thing though. I mean, like you
yeah.
guys going, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's like to me it reminds me of like the old school just I mean a lot of it because it's a lot like freestyle like me the way I ride I feel like I ride just like big bike BMX. I do the wheelies with the kids, all that, but I still like to hit the dirt jumps with it, skate parks, doing 180. I'm still trying to learn how to 360. It's a lot different on the bigger bikes, but to me it's just the bike. I mean, it's really the same, but then when you get into the wheelies and combos, I mean, that stuff is crazy. Like the first time I seen the kids doing that, I was like amazed. Like always seen people doing wheelies, but
Yeah.
start throwing all the tricks into it. And, it's a lot of inner city kids that, I see doing it. And it's like, my background, like as coming up as a kid, I used to ride BMX. I had a SM dirt bike classic, doing dirt jumps, feeble grinds on ledges. My bike ended up getting stolen. Then I started getting in trouble, smoking weed, drinking, getting locked. I was in 5 juvenile placements, ended up in my county jail 8 times. And then it's like I came home and I seen these kids doing the wheelies, and that's what attracted me back into it. So I'm like, dang, I used to, I rode bikes as a kid, so I'm still comfortable on a bike. And then these bigger bikes, it just felt like I got back on my bike when I was a kid again, almost. Like I didn't come off of 20-inch into that. It was like I rode 20-inch as a kid. And then I got older and it's like I hopped on a 26-inch and I was like, whoa, this feels like, I'm a kid again. And,
Right.
start doing the wheelies, hanging out, just being around them, being able to reach out to them and talk to them and, let them try to help guide them in the right direction, let them know, because a lot of these kids got real talent. And like, to me, bike life is like an untapped like market with everything, with promotion, all that. When people start seeing the real sport in it, understanding the real talent that it takes to do this, I think bigger companies like Monster Energy and stuff like that will eventually step in and do promotional deals with people like us. So, I just started kind of just trying to guide them the right way and more riding bikes because that's what I like to do to relate to them.
Right.
Like I like to do it. I enjoy it. And help me relate to them, to give them some knowledge, to keep them, from making the same mistakes I made as a kid and really, build yourself as a brand and, focus on what you want to do when you get older.
Yeah,
And,
for
I just
sure.
try to,
So bike riding saved your life.
yeah, definitely 100%. Like
Yeah, I relate to
that's
that
a,
completely. I totally get it. We talked briefly on the phone the other day, and it was like, people ride bikes nowadays for different reasons. People do
right.
things for different reasons. It just seemed like, back in the day we rode because, we wanted to feel good about ourselves and do, have something that was positive. So I relate to your story as far as like, you know, how it saved your life. What was that point when you felt like it's either keep going on this road or go down this road? When was that point where you said, okay, like I'm going to do
Uh,
this?
I mean, the point of me like really wanting to change, my girlfriend was pregnant with twins, and I never said this on air, but like literally the FBI came knocking at my mom's door trying to question me.
Oh,
They're
wow.
basically trying to get me to get involved on, they're giving my friend a whole bunch of time. And, they were trying to get me to help us now, we'll help you later. And I told them, listen, I'm never going to need your help ever, like, unfortunately, I'm never going to need your help. Like, I'm out of that. And then I just really, and that's at the same time where I found the bikes. I bought a 26-inch mongoose from Walmart.com, like a dirt jumper bike, and then I bought a SE Bikes
Oh,
Wild. My friend had the Todd Lyon signature bike, the SE Wild, man, like just sitting in his backyard, like no rim. So I like, yo, let me get that. I took that, put the cranks, all the parts on it. So I had my first bike, and I just would go out by myself and just practice how to wheelie in a parking lot, just practicing parking spots. And I
right.
remember I hit like 20 parking spots. I was like, it was just crazy. Then I just kept setting goals for myself. And it was like it was my me time, because I'm not doing the same things. I'm not hanging around the same people no more. So it was like, I was older. I'm like 27 at this point. So it's like more like I'm getting on my bike, just going out by myself. So I'm not going to be calling a 15-year-old kid, hey, you want to come ride bikes? So like when I see them out, I would ride with them. But, I just started riding by myself, really enjoying it. And started just trying to help people through it. And eventually Todd Lyons, seen that and gave me a chance, first he brought me, I went to SE Bikes Life BMX Day in 2018. They put like 40 kids on a school bus. They all met up in
Awesome.
Harlem and they drove us upstate New York. We went to two different tracks and raced. They took us from the hood to the woods, they called it. And like shortly after that, like I talked with Todd, I told him like, like I'm just trying to reach people. I just want to build a big enough platform to the kids to listen to what I got to say. Because they don't want to listen, just because you've been through stuff and you're older, they don't just want to listen. Like you kind of got to have something to validate you. So I just looked at it like, if I can just get my name known a little bit, maybe these kids will listen to what I got to tell them about, who they hang around with and stuff like that. And then fast forward, a couple years later, Todd, they did the SE Philly ride out. They were releasing the Dub Ripper bike. And Todd brought me out to ask me to lead a ride out, this, that. And then 3 months later, they hit me up, put me on the SE crew because he told me at the ride out they were building a crew. They're about to sponsor a bunch of people. And I was just like, why are you telling me you're sponsoring people? Like, because I was good on, but I wasn't great, but I could hold my own, but I wasn't, I didn't felt like I had the skill these other kids had, but he seen my drive and my motivation to really make change and be a positive role model through the bikes. So I got my
Absolutely.
chance and then took it, up to the past couple years to where you guys see me now is, to me, some of the best riding videos in bike life and, just keep pushing myself. Everything keeps going up. My following, my support with my clothing brand, just, a lot of good things are starting to happen and I'm just going to keep working harder and harder.
What? Yeah, absolutely. What are some of like the tricks that you guys do mostly? Because I know like in the bike life, there's a lot of wheelies. When I first started seeing
Yeah.
you guys come out, has it advanced more to like, oh, let's just start doing some more tricks. Let's try a 360. Let's try like to jump these stairs. Let's try to do some
See
flatland. Is that stuff picking up with the sport?
it's hard. It's not many people who want to do that. Most of the kids they just want to ride in traffic and do the wheelies, not necessarily in traffic. They just,
No,
on a
I get
flat
it. Yeah, yeah,
strip,
yeah.
just on a flat strip and do it. And, obviously get together, do a ride out, stuff like that. But it's hard to really get them in the skate park. I feel like that's what separates me at the moment. But I also believe that's really the future. Like I have a 14-year-old son, I have a 3-year-old son. So like to me, with that, I try to, like my 14-year-old, I try to let him understand, like, man, jumping stairs and hitting dirt jump, stuff like that's going to be the future. That you got to be well-rounded on the bikes to actually say you're a good rider to me. I can come to the dirt jumps and all the 20-inch guys are out there on the dirt jumps and they look at me, I come up on my big bike, looking the way I do, whatever. And then I come out, I'm doing the jumps with them. I get respect. We're at the skate park. I'm grinding, I'll grind a down ledge real quick, hit a 180 on the fat ripper. And they're like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'll try and mess with the ball. I like to ride my bike, and I try to stay well rounded because I realize the more you can do, it just gives you better control and it makes everything easier. If you can go ride at a skate park like FDR, when it comes to riding in the street and maybe somebody crashes, it's going to be easier to get out of that because you're used to really maneuvering your bike and learning your bike.
Yeah.
So,
The way I see it is like you guys are like learning because the bikes are bigger. The wheelbase is bigger. Anybody out there that doesn't know, I ride 20-inch wheelbase. You ride 26-inch. So
I
it's
ride
bigger.
29.
Or you're 29. Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
29. So
I
it's
ride
even bigger.
29 plus normally. Right now they got me on a prototype regular 29,
Okay.
but I'm usually 29 fat tire just because when it comes to the BMX, nobody's doing it
Yeah.
on that either. But
Yeah. Because, well, I guess I could say 26-inch was the cruiser size
right,
before
yeah,
the big bike, like,
that's what got me into it. Definitely the
26.
26 because it felt like the BMX bike
Yeah.
to me. Like
So
the
it's almost
26
like,
is really the BMX bike of these bikes.
yeah, the 26 is.
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
just small. It's a lot easier to maneuver.
They used to call them
Still
cruisers.
feels.
And
Yeah.
racing, it'd be the cruiser
Yeah, the
class.
24, 26.
Yeah. And so it seems like you guys are like learning like the sport over again on different
Yeah.
bikes.
Yeah,
Like from an
definitely.
outsider looking in, being how long I've been in BMX
Yeah.
and stuff. It's like I met this guy DZ. I guess you probably know who he is,
Yeah,
right?
DZ, he's awesome. Shout out to DZ.
Yeah, he's cool. And so I met him because I recently signed with JT, and JT's awesome. And so we were talking, and I was like, I was telling him about some flatland tricks that like are like pretty
Right,
like 1985-ish for
right.
us, right? And seeing you guys get excited or him get excited
Yeah.
about wanting to
Yeah,
do,
no, he's definitely a well-rounded verse rider who wants to, and that's why I believe it is the future. Because when you got people like me, people like DZ, even like Jacob Santos,
yep,
you got all these people who want to we want to push our limits
yep,
to every, you know what I mean?
yeah,
We don't look at nobody who rides a bike like, oh, like you're different than me, I'm better than you. We look at it like, damn, I need to do that on my bike. Like BS Dell, like he's always trying to reach out to Terry Adams, trying to learn all the flatland. He wants to do flatland on a 29-inch.
oh
You know what I
yeah,
mean? So that's the people that I really enjoy because that's what I believe the sport is going to go. And we'll have 29-inch vert and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Obviously,
Your
skate
bikes are
park.
probably going to change too, like the
Yeah,
geometry. I would think for
yeah,
flatland, I could see
absolutely.
bikes becoming like because in BMX things are like, oh, this is a flatland bike, this is a vert
Right.
bike,
Yeah,
this is a street bike,
absolutely.
and so
Yeah. Even
I've
the
always been
legs,
an over,
cassette, freewheel, all that.
yeah, like I've always been an overall rider, so I've
Right.
always rode like everything for the most part and competed pretty much in everything. So I know like it's kind of cool to me because I like the fact that you guys are taking it more than just the wheelies. That it's like, and I'm just an outsider. I'm a
Right.
BMXer in another way, and it's like it's cool to see you guys start. I saw didn't homie just do a rail or grind a ledge. I was like, oh,
Yeah, that
cool,
was Jacob Santos, who I
got it.
just said. Yeah, he's on the SE crew with me. And like I said, people like Ken, you got Montana, Ricky, you got a lot of people who's pushing,
The
the
scene,
big BMX
yeah.
actually trying to, but
What's it like on those ride outs? We used to do our ride outs when we were younger. We call them
right,
all day rides, right?
right.
And for us, like back in the 80s, everybody hated us because this is
Yeah,
before like TV and we were accepted and all this kind of
yeah.
stuff. So we had a crew and we'd be like 30, we'd only be like 30 or 40 deep, seemed like a grip.
Mhm.
But some of your guys' ride outs, you have like 1,000 people or something. You guys have a grip
Yeah.
of people, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, we got the SE Philly ride coming next month. That'll be deep, and then SE, we're doing the 3-day ride. We'll see, well over 1,000 riders on, throughout them days. Probably every day we should have at least 1,000 riders out there, but some of them will change.
What do
Some
you
will
guys do
stick
on the
out.
ride out? You go from point A to point B or
Yeah,
what?
usually you go and then you end up back at start. You know what I mean? Just like a
Right.
big circle like that. I'm about to go do the 3-day ride with SE. We start in downtown Los Angeles and we end up 130 miles away at Laguna Beach. It's 3 days. Like we ride from downtown LA to Hermosa Beach. And
Sick.
then the next day, Hermosa Beach, we leave in the morning, go to Long Beach, and wake up in the morning at Long Beach to Laguna Beach. So
Yeah.
like that's cool, doing them. And there's crazy hill bombs we do and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it always gets fun with that. Like, out in Philly on Tuesdays, there's a thing called Try It Tuesday, one way Corey does. And all the kids, we just meet up, and then all everybody meets up, everybody's practicing. We meet up at Paynes Park right across from the art museum. And then, an hour later, everybody gets there, we go ride. And then, a couple hours later, we get back. And like, usually, if there's enough people, like two kids will battle to get in the one way. Like if he, like Corey runs one way, and like if somebody wants to get into the group, they have to basically battle, like competition versus somebody else, kind of like pig. They call it OWU, like you do a trick and then they got to do your trick.
Oh yeah, they call it
Like,
bike. In BMX, they call it bike. We used
right.
to
Okay.
we used
Yeah.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
we
So
used to
they
call it
do
out.
that.
Back in the
Yeah.
'80s, we called it
Exactly.
out. Like we call it
Yeah.
whatever.
So
But
they,
yeah,
they do that and stuff, but yeah, I think I definitely see it as, more people getting involved and us being able to do more competitions and, stuff like that where we can, have a ramp there, stuff like that. I'm trying to get a lot more people into the jumping, stuff like that, because it's different. It's just, I think what it is, a lot of these kids are so good at doing these street tricks that
yep,
they don't want to go be seen doing something else where they're not
I get
looked
it.
at as good as they are, because they're good in this, then they don't want to be looked at as they can't do something on a bike. They'd rather. That's why, like, I don't know if you ever seen me, I wheelied three of the Rocky Stair flights. It's
Yep,
on SE's YouTube shorts, but I did three flights. I didn't get back to my pedals and pedal away, but I made it down the last three flights wheeling down them. And
awesome.
like I literally had like 100 kids watching me and nobody would try. And I'm like, man, like if y'all just knew, like if y'all really tried this, like y'all can definitely do it.
Right.
But it's like they don't want to be looked at as doing something they can't do. And then when they go try, if they wheelie three stairs, they don't want to post it, or they don't want to go keep trying to,
I get
do
it.
more. I mean, it's
Well,
cool. I definitely respect it, is because I love doing it too, but I also just love doing everything on my bike.
yeah, no, I hear you. The ride outs are pretty cool. Sound pretty fun. That's cool. You're
Yeah.
gonna go from Los Angeles to Laguna. I used to live with Todd Lyons, dude.
Did
Uh,
you? Where? What
I
house
did,
was it?
and Huntington Beach. I moved to Huntington Beach in 1997,
Oh, that was dope.
and I lived with him in Huntington, and then I lived in the house he has now. I was with him when he bought it, and then I saw that he bought a house. So I was like, you know what? I'd save some money. I'm going to try to buy a house, and then I bought my own. And but yeah, it was cool. I've known Todd for a long time, and to see SC bikes go through the changes it's made, and then
Yeah.
go into the bike life now. I really strongly believe that like SC kind of like pushed that, and it was pretty much
Oh,
Todd.
yeah.
Don't you think
Yeah,
so?
definitely.
I
Oh,
mean, you
100%.
guys being the riders, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the riders, obviously, without the riders, you have no thing. But Todd was the only person who embraced us.
Right.
Nobody else, everybody else was scared. All the other bike brands, they had to wait a minute, and then they slowly, once they seen like you have to either get in this market or you're going to get left behind at this point, that other people started to join. But that, I mean, it just goes to show you, like, SE bikes, we have 20 SE crew riders.
Wow.
Like,
Awesome.
I mean, name another company with that many bike life riders. You know what
No.
I mean? And
Yeah.
and they honestly, everybody's taken care of on a, rider basis, but there's not a person on that whole team who doesn't get taken care of and isn't, thankful for what they got.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for
it,
sure. And
it
I
takes
see
a
kids
lot
on
of
this.
people.
Yeah, for that's badass. And I see dudes on the street riding like the big
Mhm.
bikes. And then I look, it's always SE, it's PK, it's like
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
crazy.
ripper. And like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
so
Like just to see the kids on the mic buffs and the PKs, like to somebody like you, it's like, wow, like, like that's like really just keeping the sport alive, because it adapts and things change over time. And
yeah.
not everybody has to agree with it, but I mean, we're keeping the sport alive, because with these kids riding bikes, like it's crazy. Like when I ask these kids, like these kids, they don't know who Matt Hoffman is and stuff like that. And it blows my mind, but they never watched BMX or cared. about,
Yeah.
like they just seen these people riding these bikes doing the wheelies, and that's what they were drawn into. They don't know about the roots, all the history, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people who've been in it for years who really paved the way for this to, and it's like we're starting over now. So like, this is a brand new sport. Like it's so
I will
good.
say
But
with the bike life and scooters, and not to compare, I'm not saying the same
no,
scooters
no,
and
no, no, not at all.
no, no, but like mountain bikes and stuff, BMX
Hmm.
freestyle, I feel like is it seems like it's becoming like a dying breed, like because people aren't buying as 20-inch
Yeah,
bikes like they used to. They're buying
yeah,
the big
crazy.
bikes. They're
Yeah,
not buying that at all. They're buying scooters, like, or they're buying.
yeah,
So it's like and that's why on my end I'm like, damn, this is crazy. Like, being a BMX when it first came out, freestyle, to go from racing to freestyling, and then peak out and all this stuff that it got to the level of riding. And I'm not saying there still isn't a bunch of riders, because there are, but
oh
are
yeah,
there new
definitely.
riders? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And now all the new riders are getting into the big bikes, but the big bike life is trying to, not trying, but you're learning the stuff that we did, because at an early phase, to see what you could do on these bikes. And that's why I was on the outside going, wow, this is a trip. It's like it's starting all over again on
yeah,
a
it's the
different size
same. Yeah,
bike.
it's just
You know what I mean?
it's the same cycle starting over again. It just looks a little bit different.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what
And
I
I
mean?
think it's
But
I
it's
think it's
still it's
cool.
the same idea, like, and that's why I say like that's why I said at the beginning it's like an untapped market because like nobody knows what's going on because everybody's making it up as we go along because this has never been done before. Obviously, you have the base of the BMX stuff like that, but it's hard to be accepted as you ride. Wait, so wait, you're a sponsored rider for riding bikes in the street? Like you just ride your bike and do wheelies in the street, you know what like it's hard for people to almost accept that as I know for a fact you went through them times
Dude, I
as
go through
your
that.
high
I do that
school
right now,
your high
bro.
school counselor or whatever. I read the little thing was talking about, oh, you gotta think of a career, this, that, and then a year later you're in
Yeah.
the top BMX magazine. And they're saying you better watch out for him because he could take over the world type stuff.
But the
So
only difference with you guys is you could start a brand, like your
yeah,
brand,
yeah.
is it social media. You
Yeah,
can
we
get
have
a
the
bike
internet.
spot. You can get a bike sponsor easier.
Yeah,
And our grind was much different. Society
yeah,
hated us.
yeah.
Everyone at school didn't understand. No one understood. It wasn't until, I'm just being real, until television comes along. And once you're on TV, then society goes, oh, it's okay now. It's
Yeah,
all right. These
exactly.
guys are on TV. So the advantage that you guys have is that you have the media and the acceptance of things. I'm sure, like I'm sure you guys probably get beef from people though when you like mob deep driving down the street, right? Piss off
I mean,
people.
yeah, I mean, I'm out Philly, so like a lot of people they accept it by now. Most people like it. I mean, you gotta understand, like, we're moving. So like once we're out the way, we're out the way.
Right.
Like I mean, we might come through the red light, but 30 seconds later, it's done. It's just like a funeral. So
Yeah.
if funeral people like they don't stop, they just keep going. And for us to keep everybody together, keep everybody safe. We're not just rushing into traffic. Somebody always go, make sure it's clear as we go, but stuff like that. But
Cops ever mess with you?
I mean, yeah, I got dude, I had an unpaid ticket for disorderly conduct. Swear to God, in Chester County, Pennsylvania.
Wait, what was it? What was that for? What were you doing on your bike? You got that?
Well, I just had an old disorderly conduct ticket,
Okay.
like an unpaid, which turned into like a warrant. But
Right.
like, so I'm freaking wheeling my bike up the street, and a cop stops me, and he's like, "Yo, get out!" I'm like, "Dude, I'm on the whole other side of the road. Like, I'm not even on the side of the street. I'm not going at oncoming traffic. Like, he was coming towards me, and I was going up my side, just doing a wheelie." And he was like, "Whatever," and pulled away. And I guess he felt like, I don't know. He turned around. It's like, I want to search you, and search me, and ran my name. It's like, you got
Shit.
a warrant in Chester County. So I
Uh,
literally had to sit, and it was Friday. So I had to sit till Monday morning to
really?
pay $120 ticket where I had $500 in my pocket.
Wow. Trying to give you. You know
So
what? You know what? You know what my theory is,
that's
bro. and I've been saying this my whole life. Well, two things I want to comment on. Trying to convince people that you ride bikes for a living and them to like accept it. I used to do that. I don't care anymore.
Yeah,
Like, I
I
don't
could
care.
care less.
Guess what? You go do your job. I love mine.
Right.
Uh, Figure out what you got to figure out, whatever. You know what I mean? But I will say this: anytime I feel like anytime my dogs start barking every time I do a podcast. This little guy. Listen, every time people see that you're having fun, there's
Yeah.
always someone there trying to trip you. There's always someone there trying to get in your way. There's always someone there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like one of those things where it could have been
People
like this
get mad
conversation.
when you can survive off doing what you love. People get mad when you love your job, but ain't that what they teach you since you're a kid? You gotta learn, you gotta figure out what you like to do and start that as a job. And you know, if you love what you do for work, you'll never work a day in your life, they say. So don't be
Well,
mad at the
yeah.
people who took that, you know, and ran with it. That's how I think of it.
Well, absolutely. You know, a lot of people don't know this. Well, a lot of people do know this, but about myself. But I used, I wasn't born into any of this. I chased it. So yeah, you're
Right.
absolutely
Yeah,
right. You have to
absolutely.
chase
Yeah, you
what.
came up as a BMXer. I understand that grind.
Oh, dude, yeah, you get it more than anyone.
Like,
And
yeah, I
but the
know.
only difference I was trying to make is 2022 is a lot different than 1982, and so that 40
Because we
year
have this,
growth,
because we have a phone.
right?
That
But
cell
also
phone is the
too,
most powerful thing. That's social media.
it is. But the industries are already like if it was the other way around and you
Yeah.
guys came out in 1982, a
Oh
thousand
yeah.
people on the street riding bikes, people would hate you.
Yeah. It's like now
Now
the
it's like,
industry is looking
oh,
for the next best thing already. Like
yeah,
they're
yeah,
already sitting there waiting, like, oh, this is going on. That's the new wave.
yeah.
And
And I don't think it's bad. I think it's great. I think
yeah,
it's cool that you're able to excel quicker because that's what it's about.
yeah,
It's not about like, you know, but I just think it's cool that just watching, and the little that I do know, and I only met a few of you guys that are in the bike life world, and I just think that it's cool that you guys are out riding. Like that's the main
yeah.
thing is that you're out having fun. You know what I'm saying, and inspiring. Kids get inspired from you. Yeah, you
Yeah,
feel that?
definitely. Yeah, 100%. That's, that's the main reason I do it. I want them, to look up to me, not as for me doing negative things. Like I want them to look up to me and say, that's what I want to be. I want to, because I don't teach kids to, oh, you have to ride your bike and you're going to make it like I did. I try to teach them to figure out what your talent is and figure out a way to, brand yourself and overall, and push what you love to do and figure out how to make money off of it. If you love to
Absolutely.
play, like I tell kids, if you love to play video games all day, you need to figure out how to stream and how to interact with people. Because, the more people you're interacting with out here, the more opportunities can come your way.
Absolutely. Without a doubt. And you have kids yourself. What's it like raising kids and then being, uh, in the bike life world and being a bike rider, just, being a bike rider in general.
Yeah,
I mean, I know what it's like
yeah,
what
it's
I do
tough.
because I have kids, but for you, how is it?
I
How do you
mean,
balance it?
for me, it's tough. I mean, like at home, I have the 4-year-old twin girls right now and a 3-year-old boy. So I mean, it's rough because like we can't. Every time I need to do something, they're with their mom. When their mom has work, they're with me. So it's like, and then she's working 4 days a week. While I'm, then when I get my 3 days a week, it's like I have so much stuff I'm trying to do with what's going on in my life. And when I'm traveling, she has to sacrifice to, maybe take off days of work. Like if I'm going on a 5-day trip and it's not even falling on her days, like she feels like she has to be there with the kids because, they're at that age where it's hard to get a babysitter for 3 kids,
Yeah.
especially at that age. So
And
yeah,
that
it's just been a
price,
lot
the
of
price too.
sacrifice and all that. And yeah, a lot of investing in myself and just trying to find balance in my life. It's hard, but like you said earlier, like I'm impacting a lot of kids out there. Like a lot of people look up to me. So, I have to step back, look at the bigger picture, and there's certain things I gotta sacrifice and just a lot of sacrifice basically. But the overall thing is, to build myself up big enough. So, like you said, how you watched Child buy the house, you went and bought your house. Like I'm literally trying to do the same thing. Like I'm looking at what all the people ahead of my time, in BMX specifically for me, and maybe not even only specifically BMX, just watching, what people did to get the things that make them happy. And I know my journey I'm on, what I'm gonna do to make it, and just, keep pushing it, and just keep trying to get more people to respect what I'm doing and try to work with me to help, make a change with the kids. So when my kids grow up, like the main goal is I want my kids to grow up and just see me doing good and me surrounded by, people doing good things and looking out for each other. Cause like we give a lot of kids bikes, you know what I mean? Like
Yep.
everybody in the bike life community, they come together, put money together to get a kid a bike, or if a kid gets a flat, he don't got money, like somebody there is fixing, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna, so it's like a big community, brother. So I just want my kids to really grow up in that, and also see that, you figure out what you want to do and you chase your dreams and you use your talents, and you'll never have to work a day in your life, and you can really experience happiness in life, rather than everybody thinks the goal is to get rich and have all this money. But and you can have all the money, but I just want money to keep doing the things we're doing, to be able to travel and around, meeting new people, riding bikes with them, building new relationships with people, and just spreading like the love of bike life. And just because that's the one thing, like everybody comes from a different background and does different things,
Right.
like we all have that one thing in common. And it doesn't matter if you wheelie, none of that. You come out there on a 20-inch and you're just riding, you do a 360 in the ride out, people are gonna go crazy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you're a older lady on a beach cruiser pulling up, like, if you have a bike, you can ride with us. And then, you have the competition in it. It's just, it's a whole different world than what I was used to. And to me, that's what I want my kids to grow up in. And I'm to the point where it came so far now that it's just like I just got to push it to the max and see, show the whole world and myself just how successful I could really become out of this. And by me, success is going to be helping other people, how many people I can, help out through this, and we all be good together.
You ever thought about starting like a school, or give lessons or something like that? People always,
Yeah,
because
I
people
mean,
people always ask me that, and I'm like, you know what, dude? If I was to start, sorry, I'll answer the question, my side of it. Sorry to do it like be like that, but I'm just saying people ask me that all the time, and my response is, I'm not ready for that because I'm still wanting to be on this side of things,
right.
progress this way. So let me ask you: is that something that you could see yourself down the future doing, or is that something you wouldn't have an interest in?
I mean, it's something I would probably have an interest in being a part of. But like
Right.
as far as like, I feel like my main focus right now is like build myself up as much as I can in the next like probably 7 years. So when my son is, 8, 9, 10 years old, and people are watching him so much because he loves bikes. He's 3 years old. And like when he's being bad, I just tell him like, I'm gonna throw your bike in the trash. And then no, no, and it'll just be good. So like I feel like if he really, follows my steps and, comes around with me, I feel like that could be like I'm just building the platform for him. But also, if he wants to do something different, then whatever. But I just know I'm building myself as much as I can to give my kids the opportunities they want. But I think like the biggest thing I really want to do, I want to start like a big brand where, all like where I'm just doing everybody else, all the other brands products, like all the stuff I offer, I'm going to offer to somebody else. Like if I have chest bags and face masks, like I'll do them for you, but I'm beating everybody's prices because I'm doing all the work. And if I'm doing all the work, I can employ more people and give more people opportunity.
Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely. It's funny you say that about the real quick about the son thing. People, my son's 13. People, and my
right,
daughter's 15, and people ask me all the time. They're like, "Does your son ride?" And I'm like, "No." They're like, "What? What do you mean he doesn't ride?" And they get all like weird. I'm like, "Look,
right,
dude, he just didn't wasn't a rider.
right,
Like
yeah,
my son plays football. He's hardcore. That's his
yeah,
dream. So I'll support. I do
right.
support that. His training is pretty intense. He's pretty focused. He's dialed. So he has the same attitude I do
Right,
with riding, but it's just
right,
it's
absolutely.
finding
Yeah,
your way. But
yeah, that's what it's about.
yeah, and you're talking about different sponsors and stuff. I'm jumping all over the place, but I just thought you know Cat at Crush Gloves,
Yeah,
obviously, right?
yeah, yeah. I love Kat. She's so awesome, Kat. I've been, dealing with her for a few years now.
Let's talk about them for a minute because she had nothing but good things to say about you. And
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. You got signature gloves with them, right?
Yeah, I actually have two signature gloves with them. I mean,
Awesome.
it's really the same, just different color,
Right.
So I guess,
How's that doing? Is it good?
yeah, they're good right now. The blue is sold out, except for I think there's like one or two pairs of the XL left, and then we're not dropping them again. And then we're about to, so we'll still have the red ones. And whenever they sell out, they'll probably be done. But I have a new colorway about to be dropping soon with them. I'm not sure exactly when yet, with all delays and everything. But I know I have, the next colorway coming soon. And yeah, just working, Cat has been awesome. I've been with Crush BMX since they built the team day one. I was, soon as they started, like I was basically one of the riders.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I know her husband too. He was in a band on work. We
yeah,
did work tour together, and
yeah,
he's a
he's
drummer.
awesome.
Yeah. So I was like, small world, dude. Because I hit them up and I was like, yo, I'm gonna ride for you guys. Let's do a glove. And they're like, let's do it.
Yeah,
I was like, sick. So and they're like, and they're friends for like Mike Buff. I mean, Mike Buff used to
yeah,
be on my wall as a kid.
yeah. That's
You know what
crazy
I
to
mean?
me. Like I'm
Yeah.
literally friends with these people. It's crazy.
It's awesome. Well, let's talk about your clothing company. Your
Yeah.
the Hoodrich. How's it?
Yeah, I started, like I said, when I went on that Bikes Life BMX day in 2018 with
Yep.
SE Bikes when we was in New York, like I told Todd, like, yeah, like I want to start a brand. I'm like, I just don't have a name yet. And then like, maybe it was like a month after that, it was like the week when before my son was just born, just out of nowhere, I don't know, it just popped. I was like, Hoodrich Bike Life. Like the thing is, like it has to say bike life. If it doesn't, if it says hood rich, it's not mine. It says hood rich bike life. Like that's what made it exclusive. Just because I know other people made stuff called hood rich, but I can't really say. But it's just like to me, it's about, like I said, making everybody like just bringing value to everybody around me. Like you know what I mean? Like just making everybody around me rich with, not necessarily money, because to me, money isn't what makes you rich. It's, living your life. Like you get one life, like all the money in the world can't buy you, these things that I get through doing what I do to me. So it's really about that. But I started, I came up with the design and then, I came up with the name, then I messaged my sister, like my idea of the design. She got it done like a couple of days after my son was born. I had my first shirts. There's a couple of kids like, trying to get into the one way group. Like if you're from Philly and you can get in one way, like if you're from anywhere in America and you can get in the group one way, like you're good. Like you can't just anybody get in this group. So there's one kid, one way Chen, well, his name wasn't One Way Chen at the time, but I told him, yo, I'm giving you a shirt, this, that. Like I just wanted to, because I felt like I was like, I'm 27 years old. I like to ride bikes, but I never thought I would get like a SE sponsor, like a big sponsor. You know what I mean? So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna be riding my bike trying to get these local clothing companies to toss me free t-shirts and stuff. Like I always wanted to start a clothing brand, like just like since I was a kid, like I just always liked it. And then so I finally did it, started my own brand, figured like I'll be the guy to give back to the kids and and then just kept building it. Everybody, especially around Philly, they loved it. People out California, they're loving it. So, and like you said, we got the internet now, so it starts
Yeah.
traveling around. I'm targeting all the bike life cities, letting people know who I am. And, it just kept building. Then eventually, probably a year and a half later, SE Bike sponsored me. And then from there, it's like now everybody had no, because I had a regular Instagram and then I had like my Instagram Hoodrich Bike Life, like as my clothing thing. And then they sponsored me and they announced it like Hoodrich Bike Life, like my clothing thing. I'm like, wow, like they really just boosted me, like helped my clothing brand blow up basically. So I just retired the other Instagram and basically turned like the clothing brand into like me being, like the one man company almost. The rider, the guy, I make all my merch. like
Right.
everything I have, like, and like now that you know me, you're gonna see it a lot more. And like every one of them t-shirts I made, every one of them stickers you see I make. Like when I go to the ride outs and I throw 1,000 stickers, like I hand weeded all of them myself, but I'm just, so dedicated into it and just keep just trying to share, what bike life is about, just,
Yeah, through the clothing, the lifestyle, the brand. I get it. The branding, your own brand, and being in control of,
yeah.
having something that's yours. I totally get it. I think it's cool. What stuff do you make? Obviously you make hoodies, you got one on, but you got
Yeah.
like hats and shirts and
Yeah,
stuff.
t-shirts, hoodies. I got some sweatpants on there. The little wristbands because all the kids they love to put them around their handlebars, and then you slide your water bottle in there.
Got it.
So the wristbands are good sellers. All the decals.
Do
I
you see
had
yourself
socks, but
sponsoring a
they're
team?
sold out.
So
Huh?
do you see yourself sponsoring a team one day?
Yeah, I mean, I just really need the money because it's like
Yeah.
it's so hard because like I don't have the regular job because like I sit with my 4 and 3 year old kids for 4 days out of the week. So it's like I don't really have time to work and do so it's like I just gotta push the brand and try to live off of it. So it's like it kind of makes it hard for me to, stock all these products like, to get hats embroidered. Like if I can do it and I can get it, but it's just hard for me to stock a lot of stuff. So I try to, so it's like a lot of, regular t-shirts and stuff like that for the moment. But, as things keep growing, I plan on, just keep investing everything into my brand like I have been the past since I started,
Yeah. So you said you're
live
with
off of,
your kids 4 days a week,
yeah.
like during the week. Oh, it's because they're not in school yet. They're young, right?
No, the twin girls, they'll start school in like September, and then I'll only have, my son, he'll be 4, and that'll be a lot easier because,
Yeah,
he wants to come out and ride bikes with me all the time. Like he was literally crying. I couldn't bring him to here.
I get
Like
it.
there was
Yeah.
nobody to watch him, like I just couldn't swing it on this. But yeah, he always wants to go. And so I think that'll be good and it'll give me a lot more, one-on-one time with him to ride bikes with him and just see where it takes him. Because if he enjoys it the way I do, and that'll be our bond, then I feel like as like a father and son, we can push that crazy. Because like you got kids like One Way Little Man who literally One Way Little Man taught my son how like he didn't teach him, but he was there and encouraging him as he rode the first time with no training wheels. And he's 9 years old and he does, man, like these wheelie tricks better than most of these, kids you see out here. And
Yeah.
he's mine, so and it just keeps progressing, Like
Yeah, absolutely.
there's
Do
like
kids, do you
you
think
know
your
who
kids
Caden
push you?
BMX is that little kid that like he was probably like 12 now, be doing like backflips and shit. He's like eight
Oh, I
years
see
old,
him.
a little
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
BMX and shit. Like that's how I look at it. It just advances. Like
Yeah.
these kids, it gets crazy. So I want to see where it goes in the future.
I think that it would have been like, when we learned backflips, we learned it in the water or we learned it in the snow. We didn't have foam
Right.
pits. You had to man up and just go for it. Be
Yeah.
like, I think I could do this and just take a slam and go, oh, yeah, let's spin a little more. I mean, it was different, and I think
Yeah.
nowadays, I like the fact that people can progress quicker. I like the fact that people can make a
Hmm.
living at it. That you don't have to, go bust tables in a restaurant for 7 years like I did,
Right.
living in your mom's basement chasing a dream. Okay. If you
Yeah.
could walk into it in a different level, kill it. And that's why these young kids are killing it because they see like a future. They could see being sponsored, making a career out of it. Uh,
Right.
people encouraging you. Yeah, you could be an X Games guy. You could be in
Right.
the Olympics. You could be sponsored. None of that stuff was talked about when we were kids. It was just almost like
Right.
us against the world, and you just had to believe in yourself, and that was it. Period. Get it. Go.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
crazy.
just it's crazy, dude. And but I will say this because we're talking about kids. Kids, though, at least for me, motivated me to work harder.
Oh yeah,
You feel that
definitely.
way with your kids?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like
Yeah.
I can't. I just know like if I fail at this, like then like I can't. It's not an option for me to fail. It's just I just know I have to put everything in this and it has to pay off. This is my last gamble. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I done gambled everything this far in my life by, keep messing my life up, doing illegal things, thinking that was going to progress me. And now that it's like I've been set, I put way too much into this to let it go and like have my kids like no way they're gonna grow up and me not be successful off something that I really believe in. Because I feel like if I can't complete this, they may not believe they'll ever be able to complete what they wanted to.
Yeah.
And I
I
feel
hear
like
you.
it'll all be for nothing. Cause like right now I'm missing a lot of like the best years of my kids' lives. Like I'm sacrificing a lot to do what I'm doing. So like I just know like I know it's paying off for,
Yeah.
100%. And like, but I just know there's no way I could give up. Like there's nothing in this world that could stop me from making it. And, in the future being in more movies and, commercials, just all, I don't really know what exactly is going to lead me to really change my life, but I know
Right.
it's through doing what I do
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got, and you know what? It's cool you have that attitude because a lot of people don't. You
Yeah.
got to be able to like expand and branch out and do
Yeah.
different things, which, sometimes people get stuck in the industry and they're afraid of what their industry is going to say. Like you said earlier, kids don't want to
Right.
post stuff because they don't want to be judged or they want to be
Yeah,
looked at,
exactly.
and so there's the leaders that lead the game, and that goes back to what I was saying about Todd Lyons. Todd's always been a leader,
Right.
back in the BMX days, back when we were competing against each other in '92. I
Right.
mean, like, so you
It's
got to be able
crazy
to
about
branch. Yeah, you
sport.
got to be able to branch out and I guess the word really I'm looking for is to reinvent yourself, because
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
like, it's like your sport. It's like my sport. It's like anybody's
Right.
sport. Okay. You're going to reach a point where the sport needs to reinvent itself because it gets old, and when it gets
Yeah,
old,
yeah.
people know what it is, and then they're over it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It's like when you're predictable, you're boring,
Right.
right? So
Absolutely.
when you're starting to like advance the sport, that's what keeps people's interest and gets new kids into it,
Right.
So, like we were talking about these young kids killing it, it's because
Right.
we've advanced, keep
Yeah,
advancing,
absolutely.
you know. It's just like I said, I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's a scene. It's almost like seeing freestyle BMX 20-inch start over again,
Yeah, it's
you
it's
know.
definitely like, and that's where like for me, I get a lot of my inspiration from that. Just seeing, like even like skateboarding a lot. I did a lot of skateboard and stuff like that, and like
Yep.
I don't know, just all of that. I felt just led up to this basically.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Skateboarding is so influential on so many people. Like, I think the first people to do like clothing and branding and lifestyle was
Mhm.
surfers, and then it went to skating,
Right.
and then the other sports. But yeah, skateboarding's always been at the forefront of
Yeah,
lifestyle and stuff.
yeah.
You know what
I
I mean?
started I started as skateboarding, and like what I find with the bike life is like a lot of these kids really like, especially the ones who start riding bikes and are just like naturally good at it, they skateboarded or they rode scooters, like you said earlier. A lot of them was scooter kids or they was skateboarders, and then they started riding the bikes and just like came in kind of dominating on them. It's just
Yeah. Well, they're all connected too. I mean,
yeah. I
a
mean, it's
sport
all like
forces
extreme sports. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like the type of sports people like us like to play. Like,
Absolutely. What is writing give, like, I guess you've answered this maybe, but I'll ask it in a different way, I guess. Is like what does writing do for you inside? Like what does it do to you that makes you go, yeah. You know what I
like,
mean? Like what feeling does
yeah.
it give you?
I mean, a
Sense
lot of
of,
different feelings. The main feeling is like when I get on my bike, I don't worry about none of my problems. Like, everybody has real life problems. So it's like I just forget about everything. It's like I'm free. When I get on my bike, I'm just free. Like I'm not worrying about nothing but what we're doing now, how to be creative by getting some good videos and then learning the new tricks. You know what I mean? The feeling of accomplishment.
yep.
You know what I mean? Because you know how hard you work to get that trick. Other people from the outside, they don't look at it like you accomplished, but just to know, listen, if you're accomplishing yourself in any way of life, just tackling little tasks, little things that you never could do before, and you're doing. To me, that's like successful. As long as you keep trying to be better than yourself, and through bikes is the easiest way for me to like do that, express myself. I could just go be me. Nobody's judging me out there. And if somebody is, I don't care about you anyway. Because if you have the time to go judge me, like I can't understand that because I only have enough time to focus on me and what I got going on.
Oh, but they will judge. Let me
Oh
tell you
yeah,
right now. I went through the I went through a lot with BMX and a lot of envy
right,
and a lot of jealousy years ago. Because I was doing different stuff, you know what I mean?
right,
And you always feel like you got to prove yourself, or you always got to this, that, whatever. But my one good friend, Dennis McCoy, he's my best friend. He's legend BMXer. That's who
mm,
I grew up with. And he told me something a long time ago, that getting there is the fun part. Once you get there, it's still fun, but it's a
right.
different responsibility. It's
Yeah,
different because then when
absolutely.
you have something, people want to try to take it from you, right? When you don't have anything, it's different. So that the climb up to getting the name, and then
Right.
when you get the name, that's a whole nother level of work, kind of. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and then you got to deal with criticism and competition and people
Yeah, like
trying to
I
hold
was
you
never
back.
competition before I got sponsored by SA, even with my clothing brand. You
Right.
know what
Well,
I
I'm
mean?
saying people though. People be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
well, why does he have that when I could do this trick, or I could do this, or
Oh
I could
yeah,
do
that's
that?"
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Everybody, listen, it's like, and especially like I'm third, you know what I mean? Like to me, like he an old man. Like literally I have a 14-year-old son that is out here riding with all of us too. So it's like literally like these kids, they think they're the best. And it's like, but my dad's sponsored and you're not, and they be mad. But it's like, dude, you gotta work what you got and put go on your
Yeah.
journey and things that happen for you. It's not about being better than somebody else. Like they don't understand. They think like because you can do one thing better than them, it just all around makes you a better person for the job. Like, yeah, you can do better tricks, but can you get people to buy bikes? Because that's the end game. You know what I mean? Like, are
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
really respecting you out there? You know what I mean? Or they just seeing you do these tricks and you got a shitty attitude and nobody wants to be around you anyway? Or like everybody, I feel like in my situation brings something different. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that. And like, so I tell them, like, you just got to focus on you and your journey,
Yep.
but yeah, definitely a lot of hate, especially a
Yeah.
lot of
Competition.
the kids they'll smoke me when it comes to this wheelie stuff, like I can hold my own. Like you go get another 33-year-old, like I'm not seeing it happen, but
Hey, I say that
you
every day of my
you
life.
got kids.
I don't know any other 52-year-old out there killing it every
Right.
day.
Yeah, that's
And I'm just saying, but you know what? You got to do what you got to do for you. And the main thing, though, dude, that I've learned in life, the main thing is have fun along the way, man.
oh yeah,
You
absolutely.
know what I
That's all
mean?
it is.
That's what's up, because then life passes you by, bro.
Yeah.
Trust me, brother.
As I
Life will
said, you
pass
only
you
got
by.
one life.
And then when you wake up and you're like 50 and you're like, did I enjoy everything?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you have to enjoy it at the same time. Um,
Hmm.
Cool, dude. I've had a great time talking to you. I want to wind it down, but I want people to know where to go get to follow you and where to get your clothes. So, do you want to drop all your Instagram and your social media?
Yeah, I mean everything is under Hoodrich Bike Life, like Instagram, Facebook, all that, and the website is hoodrichbikelife.com. I mean,
And it's hard to find your real name online, dude.
it's Mike Plasha, Plasha. Yeah,
Flash. That's it.
Facebook. I have my private Facebook, but I don't really. I'm on it, just not with like certain. That's more like of a personal one. Yeah, like the
Flash.
clothing
How do you say your
brand
last name again?
Plasha.
Plasha.
Yeah. So
Plasha.
yeah, what happened was like I
I was like, I
started the
couldn't find your
clothing
name.
brand.
I couldn't find your name online. I swear. And like, I was like, so I hit up Kat. What's this guy's real name? I just see Hoodrich everywhere,
Yeah.
which I dig. I'm like, so yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
Plaza, right?
yeah, Plasha.
Plasha. All
But
right.
yeah, it's crazy because like I started off as like I just started this brand to like be that, and like the brand took it over, and like people like, dude, I had sponsors like when they go to send me a package, they're like, "So what's your name? Like, what's your real name?" They're like, obviously Rich. I'm like Mike. They're like Mike. Like, yeah. Like, so where's Rich come from? I'm like, Hood Rich. Like,
That's
oh,
money, son. What are you talking about?
yeah. Yeah, we're trying to get rich.
I mean,
Nah,
hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, there ain't nothing
no,
wrong
it's
with
not
that.
about, but no, it's not about getting rich at all, honestly. It's about, living our lives. Like you said, having fun. Like it's about the journey.
Yeah,
But
but at the same
it
time,
definitely takes money to be able to do these things, for me to be able to travel
of
and,
course.
come out there and spread the joy, all that, and take care of my
Dude, I
family.
look, check it out. I
You
know where
know,
you're coming from.
money's
You know,
important, but it's not.
no, but I know where you're coming from.
The
And
journey's more important.
everything's important, bro.
Yeah,
Everything, dude. Well,
definitely.
I'm stoked, bro. Thanks a lot for talking to me. Much respect. I'm glad we're friends
Yeah.
now. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely, man. I look forward to, keep talking to you in the future, on and off these. So
Come when you come out to LA, hit me up. If you
yeah,
guys are
I'll be
riding
out there.
from,
Yeah, I'll be out there Thursday, April 28th.
so
And
you're starting in Los Angeles.
yeah, downtown LA. We're at the Super 8 that night. Then we ride from there to Hermosa Beach, then
Mm-hmm.
Hermosa to Long Beach, then Long Beach to Laguna.
Sounds fun. Sick.
So yeah, I mean,
Stop.
it'd be dope for you to pop out for, any part of. A lot of people come for just do the day, or you come the whole three. That's awesome too. Everybody's invited. It's posted on SE's page, and
Cool.
we did it last year. This is going to be the second official year for it, and expected to be, much bigger than it was last year too.
That's
So
awesome, dude. Yeah. Well, I'll
yeah,
probably
I'll
see you
definitely
out there,
stay in
bro.
contact. Yeah, I'll definitely stay in contact with you, and be talking to you. So
All right. Stay rad, dude.
all
Much
right, you
love.
too. Been
All right.
awesome, man. Thanks.
Peace out.